Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I saw this crazy story today about a Fox and Friends host named Brian Kilmeade, who asked one of his black co-hosts, Harris Faulkner, a very awkward question. It was during a morning cooking show, and she was showing the team how to make peach cobbler, and the host, who was a white male, asked the Harris Faulkner, who was a black female, "Do you make Kool-Aid?" I guess asking if the Kool-Aid would go with the peach cobbler, and of course, she got a little nervous and kind of responded in a really awkward way, and obviously the question was just kind of ridiculous and definitely laced with stereotypes, no question about that. Um, what I kind of thought about it was, first of all, I confess that I'm a Kool-Aid drinker. I've been drinking Kool-Aid my whole life. Filmmaker Janks Morton came to my house to shoot me for a movie, and he couldn't believe. He told his friends, he said, "Doctor, I went to Doctor Boyce Watkins' house, and he offered me a glass of Kool-Aid." I have no shame in the fact that I like Kool-Aid. But what's interesting is that obviously when you talk about Fox News, you're talking about a show, a network that's laced with nasty stereotypes about black people. They do lots of things that just don't make any sense, and this might be one of them. Should we be offended? I don't know, but at the same time, I think it's certainly something that is yet another reason not to watch Fox News, because you can see that this was probably a question that I can't imagine him asking that question of a white person. So what's interesting to me is that it reminds us that for many people, you know, racism kind of strips us of our humanity, because in many cases, the first thing people notice about us is that we're black, and I think that's a bit unfair at times and a little bit tough to deal with. Um, so it kind of just tells us that um, in this country, it's very difficult to sort of claim the other dimensions of who you might be, because there are some people where they see you, and the first thing they see is a black man or a black woman. So what happens is, in many cases, you're sort of forced to strip away all this social and psychological baggage that comes with being black before they can actually get to the point where they're actually learning who you are as a human being, as an individual. And I think that's kind of sort of a almost crippling kind of sensation that many of us feel as black people. You go through life, and you might be a creative person, you might be a hardworking person, you might be a person who likes peach cobbler, or a person who builds houses. But the first thing that many people see is that you are black, and at that point you're kind of starting off at kind of a strange ground zero. What I would suggest is that if you feel kind of hindered by these stereotypes and perceptions and mistreatments and things like that, get your passport out. Go down to the post office and get you a passport. Go to other countries, because what you'll find in other countries is that you don't have as many stereotypes to overcome. Especially if you go to Africa. If you go to Africa, you see black people in all different positions. You see billboards where everybody on the billboard is black. The whole family is black. There are black bankers, doctors, lawyers. There are black people who are good, black people who are evil, black people who don't like other black people just because they're bad people, not because they're black. You don't see sort of the same thing you see in the African American community, where even we see ourselves in a very limited context sometimes, because of the fact that we've never had access to our full humanity. I know that when I went to China, one of the best feelings in the world that I had when I was there was the fact that when I was in China, they saw me as an American, they saw me as a scholar, and they saw me as a wealthy man, because the income was so low that even the money I was making back then seemed like a ton of money. And all that came with a certain kind of respect, and I loved that. I mean, it was different. It was a different kind of experience. And so I would just say that for yourselves, when you're out here in this world, and the white man got his foot on your neck and stuff's making you tired, and you're getting mad about what happened at work today, consider getting that passport. Save you up about $1,500 or so. Do a payment plan. Just make little payments. Save yourself up some money. Go take a trip to Africa somewhere, and just see something other than the United States. You've been lied to your whole life. You've been lied to and led to believe that this is the greatest country in the world, and it's just not. It's not that it's a bad country all the way around, but it's not the best country in the world. So have some different experiences. That's the best way to kind of get away from racism. As I always say that the best cure for me when it came to racism was getting away from that shit. You shouldn't have to find a way to be comfortable in a dysfunctional situation. If you're lying in the mud, you don't sort of say, well, how do I get comfortable in this mud? You get up and you wash yourself off. If you're in a horrible, abusive relationship, you don't say, well, how can I find a way to cope and survive all this abuse? You leave. You find a new relationship. Well, when it comes to our abusive relationship with white America and white supremacy, some of us are trained to believe that we can't do no better. Just like a bad relationship where they tell you, well, if I don't want you, nobody will. Well, that's kind of what you're constantly told. You're told that if you speak up at work or you stand up for yourself, that you're going to get blackballed and nobody will hire you. And if they don't want you, then nobody will. And we get scared. Many of us don't do what we are supposed to do because we're scared to death. White people terrorize us. They terrorize us. It's not all of them. It's not all of them try to be bad people. I don't believe that they all do, but systematically they terrorize us. So you got to find a way out of that. So find a way to get away from it, even if it's temporary. Expand your horizons. Don't engage in limited thinking. Limited thinking is what causes you to think that your abusive situation is the best thing that you can possibly get for yourself. Don't let that happen. Expand your thinking. Look at all the different things you could be doing, all the different places you could be, all the different people you could interact with. And I can just tell you this, and then I'll let you guys go because it's early in the morning. I'm a little tired. But the last thing I'll say is that when I got away from racism, when I got away from having to work with nasty white folks every day, or just nasty people, period. Um, my life got a whole lot better. I was happier. I didn't walk around mad complaining about what they're doing to me and what those people won't let me do. I don't think that way anymore. So get out of that trap. Get out of that trap. Part of overcoming the trap is just knowing that you don't even have to be in it in the first place. So that's all I really want to share with you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And as for Fox and Friends, I mean, now you see why I disavowed Fox News back in 2008 and said I would never appear on that network again. And I haven't. I haven't gone on Fox News since. So take care, guys, and I love you. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.